By the time you're watching this, you probably already know everything there is to know about the new Fujifilm X-T30 III. The specs are everywhere. Some of you might have even memorized them by heart. And you're already halfway through typing an angry comment on this video because I'm talking about it. But I'm not here to talk about specs. Instead, I want to present a case for why I think this camera might just be one of the best entry-level APS-C cameras you can get right now. Hi, I'm Marissa. If you're new here, I make content about tech, cameras, interior, and luxury bags. It's a weird mix, I know, but somehow all of this connects through design, function, and storytelling. And this camera, the Fujifilm X-T30 III, is kind of all those things at once. It's beautiful, it's functional, and it's surprisingly well thought out. When I first got the X-T30 III, I'll admit, I was very confused. Why would Fujifilm launch a new camera in 2025 that doesn't have the latest X-Trans 5 CMOS sensor or the same IBIS system that the X-E5 just introduced? On paper, it just looked like a step backwards. But instead of grabbing my internet pitchfork and joining the outrage, I took a step back and started breaking down why Fujifilm would release this camera. And it hit me, it's a cost issue. Basically, like any other business, it's a numbers game. The X-T30 III is priced at 1,429 Singapore dollars for just the body. In the past few years, almost every new Fujifilm body, the X-E5, XS20, X-T50, X-T5, XH2, XH2S, all of these sit above 2,000 Singapore dollars. The only exception is the XM5, and that's because it's also using the older X-Trans 4 sensor. So this camera is clearly not meant to compete with the $2,000 bracket cameras. It's kind of meant to bridge the gap. And when you think about it, that explains so much. Fujifilm didn't redesign the body because they didn't have to. By keeping the same chassis as the X-T30 II, they didn't have to spend months retesting how the internal parts interact, how the heat dissipates, or how it performs under stress when recording 6.2K videos. And that is hundreds of engineering hours saved. Time that would otherwise go into mechanical validation, firmware tuning, heat management testing. By reusing the design that essentially already works, Fujifilm focused its resources where it matters. The processor, the autofocus, the color engine, all while keeping the camera's price low enough so that new users can actually afford it. But this isn't just about cost, it's also about what we as consumers have been conditioned to expect. We've been primed to think that we always need the best specs, the highest resolution, the most stops of IBIS, the fastest burst rates, even if we never actually use them. How many of us actually print out our photos big enough to justify 40 megapixels? When was the last time you even printed out your photos? How many of us shoot videos meant to be projected in 8K? We're so used to chasing numbers that we forget to ask if those numbers even matter. And that's where the X-T30 III feels like Fujifilm's reminder that you don't always need more. Sometimes 26.1 megapixels is enough to shoot, edit, print, and share. Enough to make you enjoy photography again without worrying about the specs you never max out. Of course, it's not a copy-paste of the old model either. Under the hood, it's running the latest X Processor 5, which is about twice as fast as the X Processor 4 in the previous version. It brings Fujifilm's AI-powered subject detection autofocus that can track people, animals, cars, and planes. The video specs are also significantly better now. You can shoot 6.2K in 30p, 10-bit 422, 4K 60p, and even slow motion 240p in HD. There is also the film simulation dial borrowed from the X-T50 with 20 film simulations, including Reala Ace and Nostalgic Neck, and the 3 custom FS recipes for your Fujifilm go-to looks. And yes, Fujifilm kept the built-in pop-up flash, and honestly, this is kind of perfect. That flash-heavy point-and-shoot aesthetic is definitely back. The Gen Zs love it. It's nostalgic, quick, and imperfect, but it's in the best way possible. So at 1,429 Singapore dollars, the X-T30 Mark III is very consciously built to be Fujifilm's most approachable entry-level camera. It's definitely not about specs, it's about value, balance, and the tactile joy of shooting with actual dials to control your settings. And if you look at the current lineup, this camera fits perfectly. The XM5 is your compact, beginner-friendly vlog camera. The X-T30 Mark III is the entry point for photographers, people who prefer dials over touchscreens and control over convenience. It's also the most affordable Fujifilm that still feels like it's designed for photo shooters and not vloggers. When you compare it against other brands, this value really stands out. The Canon R10 was launched in May 2022. It's 24.2 megapixels with no IBIS. And the Sony ZV-E10 launched in July 2021, also 24.2 megapixels and no IBIS. Sure, the X-T30 Mark III is a tad more expensive than these two cameras, but neither of those give you the tactile controls, dials, or that sweet Fujifilm recipes, especially at this price. So who is this camera for? If you're upgrading from an X-T20, X-T200, X-T7, this is your perfect next step. You get faster performance, better autofocus, and a far more polished experience, all while keeping that compact footprint. If you're new to Fujifilm, this is the best way to get into the system, to learn photography through the physicality of the dials. And if you want the best blend of nostalgia, functionality, and affordability, this camera is for you. So no, the X-T30 Mark III is not here to blow your mind with specs. It's here to remind you that not every camera has to. Sometimes the smartest camera is the one that knows when to stop adding more, so you don't end up paying for what you'll never use. It's like Fujifilm saying, this camera is enough, and maybe that's the real lesson here. In Japan, there is a concept called chisoku. It's the idea of finding contentment in having just enough. Not too much, not too little, just enough to create, to enjoy, to appreciate what you already have. In the same spirit, there is a Chinese idiom that uses the exact same kanji characters as chisoku, 知足常乐, which means no contentment and you'll always find joy. And the X-T30 Mark III feels like that saying made tangible. It's a reminder that satisfaction doesn't always come from having the best, but from knowing when something is already enough. And honestly, Fujifilm might be right. Thank you so much for staying until the end of the video. If you enjoy beautiful and functional design, whether it's in tech, fashion, or interior, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Oh my god, there's just so much renovation noise going on. My cat's trying to puke, then it announces that it just went to the toilet. Help!